April is Autism Acceptance Month, and the Agawam Public Library is holding special events today and all through the month to celebrate. That's just one of the stops we make as Western Mass News goes town by town. During the month of April, the library will be showcasing artwork from Sunshine Village, a local organization that works to improve the lives of children and people with developmental disabilities. Now to Chicopee, where a flag raising was held at City Hall today, also to commemorate Autism Awareness Month. City officials, along with students from Chicopee High, were all in attendance. The flag-raising ceremony featured a speech by Mayor John View, who discussed the importance of supporting families affected by autism and recognizing the challenges they face. And Audi West Springfield has been honored by Audi of America with 2022 Magna Society Award. We're told to earn Magna Society recognition, dealers must demonstrate an exceptional level of customer service as well as strong business performance. The Magna Society was created by Audi of America to identify and recognize dealerships that go above and beyond standard business objectives and their sales targets.